I have another spooky story for you guys. This one was submitted by someone who saw some sort of creature, entity, spirit, something that she just really couldn't explain, but was definitely malicious. Thank you, Norma, for submitting your spooky story. Now, she did want me to start out with a quick disclaimer before I start getting into her story. So, she wanted people to know that people can believe whatever they want to believe, but remember, as real as our God is, the devil and evil are too. Now, with that, let's just get right into the story. My wife and I have always been sensitive to energy. We've both seen and felt things that weren't there since we were kids. When we first met, this was something that we instantly connected over. We live in a small Texas town about an hour away from San Antonio. About 4 years ago, things in our home started to feel off. At first, it was subtle. We were bickering, easily irritated, and barely talking to each other. Every so often, we'd catch movement out of the corner of our eyes, almost like something was crossing the doorway from the kitchen into the hallway and then heading towards the bedroom. One night, my wife had plans with her friends, so she was going to meet up with them at a place about 40 minutes away. We kissed goodbye and said the usual, "See you soon," and then she left. I decided to go ahead and preheat the oven for a pizza and hop into the shower while I waited for her to come back. The water was running and my music was playing. I had my head full of shampoo when all of a sudden I heard something. It was my name being called. Norma? I got instant goosebumps because it sounded like my wife's voice. But she never calls me by my first name. It's always baby, my love, or some other pet name. I froze with my hands in my hair and then called back. Babe? You're home? But there was no answer. I told myself that maybe I just left the TV on, so I just kept going with my shower. But a moment later, I heard my name again. But this time, it was louder and sharper. I grabbed my phone and checked my wife's location. She was still exactly where she said she would be, 40 minutes away. And that's when I heard another sound, a tick, tick, ticking sound. I couldn't figure out what it was, so I just kind of brushed it off. But as I was about to turn off the water, I heard my name again. But this time, it was right against my ear. Then there was a loud, sudden boom that shook the air. I jumped out of the shower, wrapped myself in a towel, and headed towards the kitchen. The sound I heard? It was all four stove burners on high with flames leaping, and all 14 of our kitchen cabinets were wide open. I called my wife and told her to come home immediately. A few days later, we came home around 2:30 in the morning with some plates of leftovers from my family's ranch. My wife unlocked our door and pushed it open, and that's when I saw it. Behind the couch in the dark was a tall, hunched figure. It was easily 6 feet with arms that hung low and long, ending in fingers that looked too thin and too sharp. Its eyes glowed red, and it was just staring at me. I froze and dropped the plates, which shattered all over the floor. I instantly felt sick because of how heavy and suffocating the energy was in that room. Its eyes didn't move from mine, even as my wife crossed the living room. But she didn't see it, which was strange because we always see the same things. I didn't know what to do, so I started praying in my head, telling it to leave and that it wasn't welcome because God was our protector. And just like that, it vanished. Obviously, I didn't sleep that night. A couple of days passed without anything strange, so I thought maybe it was over. But just to be sure, I got sage and holy water and went around to bless the house while playing worship music. I did sense that the air started to feel lighter. But then, that same night, my wife and I were just laying in bed watching movies. From our bedroom, you can see the couch in the living room if the door is left open. My wife got up to go grab a drink, and as soon as she opened the bedroom door, I heard her gasp. She immediately slammed it shut and turned to me. Her face was ghost white, and she said, "Babe, I see it." I jumped out of bed and opened the door. And there it was again. We stood there frozen, breathing hard, until I finally slammed the door shut. That was the moment that we knew we had to do something. So the next day, we did some research on how to bless the house the right way. We opened every window and door. We went room to room with holy water, sage, palo santo, incense, and salt. The air in the house was thick, But we kept going with reading scripture and saying out loud that no negative spirit was welcome in our house. After we finished, we poured salt along the windows and main doors and put up crosses made with the ashes of the Palo Santo stick on the main doorway. When we were done, we walked into the living room, and there it was again. This time, the black figure was outside of the screen door. So we looked it in its eyes and said, "You are not welcome here." It let out a low, deep growl, and then it disappeared. Thankfully, we haven't experienced anything like that since. We still don't know if it was the devil or just an evil spirit that wanted to hurt us, but I do know that it had to be the same thing that turned on our stove and opened all of the cabinets in our kitchen. I don't know what's going on, but every time I've tried to film this, the footage just disappears, and I've never had this problem with any other video, so I'm definitely a little bit spooked out about this one.